Welcome to Montessori Matters with Blessing Fort-Ike. In this video, I discuss the 3 levels of obedience in a child's development. Children go through 3 levels of obedience for them to adhere to instructions. Obedience is compliance to an order, request, or law. That is what obedience is. I would say it is submission to another's authority beyond your own authority. That's what we call obedience. Montessori said that the highest order of obedience comes from the natural development of the child. It's not the one that is enforced, it's not the one that is cajoled. It comes naturally. Obedience develops in a child just the way the child develops other areas of his personalities, other areas of his development. The child cannot obey if he hasn't developed his will and his skill to develop, to obey. He must first of all develop his will and his skill to obey. So, how do we do that? We must guide the child through these 2 levels of obedience so that the child can develop the will, the child can develop the skill and the control to obey. Like I said, if I say they go through 3 levels, so the first level is what I want to discuss now. And the first level of obedience, the child has an incredible will, but little or no skill or control to obey. The child is willing to obey, but the child don't have the skill or the ability to obey. Why? Because the child has an inner voice, which we call an inner teacher, that tells the child what to do. That's why you see toddlers, they cannot control their impulses, they cannot control their urge. Once the inner teacher tells them to do something, they do it immediately. So you see that most times they don't obey you because the instructions that you are giving them does not correspond with the one that the inner teacher, the inner voice is telling them to do. So once the instruction corresponds to the one that the inner voice, the inner teacher is telling them to do, they will obey you. Hence, you see that sometimes toddlers will obey you, sometimes they will not obey you. They are not trying to disobey you, they are just following the leading of the inner teacher. And the essence of the inner teacher is to help them develop their willpower and persistence. So, you can see this, the work of the inner teacher display in a child when the child is learning to walk. You see that when the child is learning to walk, the child can fall 100 times, and the child will still stand up. He falls, he stands, and he will want to walk again. It's the inner teacher that is telling him that stand up, yes, and walk. You can do it. You can do it. He's trying to develop his willpower to say, yes, I can do it, and I will do it. And at the same time, he's helping the child to develop persistence, helping the child to develop tenacity. That is the work of the inner teacher. So you as a parent, you as a caregiver, you must understand this. So when you are trying to give children instruction, don't be too hard on them to follow that instruction, because sometimes they will not follow it, not because they want to disobey you, but because they want to follow the leading of the inner teacher. I believe that you are getting that. So what you ought to help them to do is to help them to develop the willpower to obey their urges, to obey the inner teacher, so that in return they can obey you. Because the child cannot obey you if he has not been able to obey his inner teacher, if he has not been able to obey his will. So as a parent, as a caregiver, you help the child to develop his willpower to follow his inner teacher. How do you do that? Let me give you an instance now. You told the child that markers are for papers and for board. You see that the child picks up the marker right on his face or right on the palm. Not because the child wants to disobey you. The child wants to obey you best. He doesn't have the will to do that. Let me give you an example. Let me explain. The inner child in the child is telling the child, right. And the child sees the marker and there's no paper there. The child just writes on the wall or writes on his palm or writes on his face because he wants to obey the inner teacher. So when you understand that, what you do, you make sure that whenever there's a marker, there's a paper or a board available for the child to write on. So when he gets that urge to write so that he will be able to develop his pencil grip, you will see a paper or a drawing book or a board to draw on. So your instructions and that of the inner teacher correspond. So the child, you say the child is obeying. That being said, the child is developing skill and the child is developing his willpower to obey his urge. That is how it is. Then maybe the child, another way you can help the child, you now find that maybe there was no paper available. The child now wrote on the wall. Instead of being hard on the child, you tell the child, you remind the child. At this stage, you need constant reminder. You remind the child that, remember I told you, markers are for paper, not for wall or your palm or any other places. They are for paper or for board. So make sure you always write on paper. Or you take the marker out of reach so that the child cannot reach the marker. And so that you are helping the child will not disobey his inner teacher and he will not disobey you. So it's win-win. So that brings us to the second level. I would say the success of the first level will determine the success of the second level. So at this second level, the child is not conscious of himself, he's not conscious of his environment. The child now has, to an extent, has an understanding of himself, has an understanding of his environment, has an understanding of what he ought to be doing due to the success of the first level, because you've told the child over and over again what he ought to do, and you've made available the things to meet those requests. So at this time, the child is now willing to obey you because he has developed the willpower and he has developed the skill. So it's not because that mommy or Mr. So and so want me to do this, so the child does that. So at times, the child might miss it while trying to do it. Not that he forgot, not that he's doing this. Maybe he's doing it and he's not doing it the right way. It's not time to child, it's time to correct. At this time, you see that they want to use their initiative because they have the will, they have the skill, they want to do it. So allow them to do it. Don't stop them when they want to do some things. And if they are doing it and they don't get it perfectly, don't shout. What you need to do is just to guide them. And this will last about 6 years. So once the phase 1 is successful, phase 2 is successful, you can now see the child expressing phase 3. And this level 3 of obedience is when the child is enthusiastic to obey someone that is superior to him. So you see them, they want to do everything to make that person that is superior to him, that person that they respect, to know that I respect him, so they will obey all of his instruction. So they derive pleasure in obeying people they respect so much. That's why you see children, they will tell you that my teacher said that, my mom said this. So you know that they have so much respect for their teachers and their mom. Why some they will not mention their mom, they will mention their teachers. Why some they will not mention their teachers, they will mention their mom. So you know that. Anything, no, my teacher said I should not do this. My teacher said I should not do that. They are in the third level of obedience. So what you need to do, don't tell me that your teacher said what is okay. What the teacher said, let's analyze what the teacher said. Is it the good thing? Let's say yes, that is good. So at this stage now, you cannot tell them how they can analyze instructions from somebody they respect, from somebody superior, to be able to guide, so they will not just follow the person out just like that. Maybe the person is in there to do something that is wrong. So you guide them on how they can obey. And I believe that you've got an understanding of the 3 levels of obedience, and you are ready to guide your child so that your child can fully obey instruction wherever he or she finds his or herself. And I will end by telling you this, that interestingly, everyone goes through these three levels of obedience, even adults. It's just that adults do not have the inner teaching. What they now do at this level, they will now seek for help in terms of books, doing courses, colleagues, or friends. Let me give you an example. Let's say you got a new job or you change your career. At the first level, the willingness that you are willing to work, you are willing to do everything they ask you to do. Then you have little or no skill to do it. Hence, you see some organizations, they will take you through orientation, or they will attach you to a superior or somebody that is there to put you through this level. So you see that they are making you develop the skill, making you know the rules and regulations of the organization. If it's a new career, you seek for mentors, you seek help from books, you seek help from colleagues. That is how it is. That's the first level. Then the second level, you've gotten the skill, now you've got a little knowledge, so now it's time to practice. So what you have been taught or what you have learned, you're now putting it to work. Sometimes you might make mistakes. Sometimes you might find that maybe you're not doing it, so you call for help, either from a mentor or from a colleague or from the person that is guiding you. Please check, am I doing it rightly? The person will tell you yes or no. Then the third level, so after several months or several years, you've now gotten the will, the skill, and the experience. So you are now expert in your field. That is so for a child when it comes to obedience. So I believe that you've gotten value from this video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share with your contacts, and it will be well appreciated.